Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to this week's tutorial. Let's draw together.
In this video, we'll be continuing on painting our cute little ice cream cone here. It's part of the Cute and Quick series. So this is part 2, and part 1 is when we actually draw it. So that will be linked in the description below. So you can go check that out there if you've missed it, and then catch up here. I'll be using all the tools and goodies from the Illustrator starter kit that you can find in the description as well. It's totally free. There's a link there. So you can go and grab all the same tools that I'll be using. So you can see this canvas here and all the brushes that you see here. So you can follow along and use exact same things as me or use whatever you have on hand. And I'm just gonna be using the Quick Daily Sketches swatches. I'm just gonna use this as kind of a launch pad. It's not really the colors that we're gonna use, but I'll just sort of start there and tweak as we go along. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and open up my layers and begin by just tapping on the plus sign, creating a new layer. I can get rid of my old sketch layer. If you want to conserve layers, that's great. So this layer will be below my sketch layer. We can start painting with that. So go check out your brushes. And let's see. Today I'm going to be using the oil paint just as our base paint color. And let's start with the cone. So let's start with this beige color right here at the bottom. And my brush size is around a 6 or so, whatever sort of works that's comfortable to fill in. So just simply color in. You can pick up your brush if you want. Won't affect anything too badly. This is all going to be sort of rough looking anyways. So it's not a problem. So just fill this in. I'm not fairly solid. So it looks good. Okay. Let's create a new layer. And we can start with this pink. Might want it a little bit more saturated, so if you just move the circle up to the top, it'll be more of a saturated color. See there? That looks good for strawberry, I think. So you can just fill this in. If you need to adjust your brush, go ahead for these smaller parts. And make it a little bit bigger again. All right, so I'll just fill this up. Okay, great. Now let's create a new layer. And let's just use this color to start with and then bring it all the way up to saturated, maybe even lighter. I just want it slightly off-white, right? Not still too off-white. So just even more white, yeah, so it's barely there. If you want to turn off your background layer, it will be easier to see this go on. So I could just fill this all in. Maybe a smaller brush, maybe about a 3. Okay, you can turn this back on. Perfect. Create a new layer. Now we're just gonna go for, obviously a red color. So just slide it all the way to the top here, all the way to the right. Let's just find something that will read nicely as a cherry. I want it a little bit pink maybe, so just move it slightly to the left, just a teeny bit. Still want a little bit more purpley, like, pinky. So I'm moving this dot just a little bit to the left. That's probably better. Okay, so I'm right up in the middle, just down a little bit, slightly to the left to create that color. Great. All right, so now we can do our sprinkle colors. So we can create a new layer again. And let's just go, and we want these to be fairly vibrant colors. So let's see, we're gonna have like a purple, maybe something like that. And then go and just grab the sketching pencil hard, the one in the cute character class here. Just it'll be a little easier to do that. So I have mine at about 30. So just do a few of these. Then we'll change the color. Just go to the yellow and we can just make that even lighter. So just up and to the left a little bit. See if that works well. Yeah, that's good. Let's see, what else? A pink. Oops. This pink here. What other colors do we have? Maybe the green. What other color sprinkle look good? What about maybe a blue? Just make this a little bit more vibrant, so just bring it up higher. And just fill in the last little ones. All right, I think that's good. Perfect, so now we have all kind of our solid fills in. Actually, while we're on the sprinkle, we can just go and just grab this brown, and if you have a little bit of a gap here in your stem, you can do that as well. Lovely. Okay, so this time just go to your cone shape, tap on that, choose select. So then you see all these lines, these diagonal lines going, but there's no diagonal lines on your cone. So that just means that whatever doesn't have the diagonal lines on it, that's what we'll be able to color on. So this is just like a no-go zone. We're just gonna be able to go here. So I can either color on this layer, or if we're trying to work non-destructively, we can just create a new layer. Still that selection remains, and we can just go and color on top here. So we can pick this color just by pushing, tapping on here. See, it selects. And then I can just go down and to the right, just like a little L. I'll just create a nice complementary sort of shadow color for us. I want you to grab the watercolor in the single samples section, and you can just try to be around maybe size 10 might work. I'm just gonna shade in the side here, just along the side. Bring it up even bigger, maybe around 18. Just, I'm using really light pressure just to gradually create that shadow. And the same with here on this side, maybe a little bit smaller, around 8. It makes it look a little bit more round. Now we can go on the underside, sort of where the ice cream is, so it creates that shadow under there. Lovely. And then we can also go and pick that color again and go up and to the left. Make a little bit of a highlight. It's actually maybe even a little bit more, a little bit lighter if you just want to brighten that up a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so then we can just tap on our selection here, selection tool, and that will deselect it. So now we're back to normal. So now we have a layer that only is this shape, same as below. And that is an easy way to do some shadows. So let's do the same thing with our ice cream here, our strawberry ice cream. So I'm just going to tap on that, choose select. You can see that it doesn't have the diagonal stripes on it. I'm going to create a new layer on top, select this color. I'm just going to adjust it to have a nice shadow. So down and to the right, just a little L, still with the watercolor. And just have a shade. Just adjust, just play with your sizes to see what's comfortable. Add a few layers. Might be a little bit dark, so just undo that. A little shadow underneath. Maybe a little bit smaller, 4. Going on the underneath side of the ice cream. Maybe a little bit inside too, just to kind of make it irregular so it's kind of bumpy. All underneath here. Maybe underneath here because it's going in. I'm going to make it sort of look like it's a bit textured. I'm going to use this really small, just maybe a size 3. Maybe if you have done some of these cracks, you can kind of put a little shadow in there. All right, and again, we can select this color again, go up and to the left, so it's quite light. Just sort of see, just add a little bit of light. You might even need a little bit more. Just that this brush is quite transparent, which is nice, but it doesn't give you a lot of paint. So there, just adding a little bit of texture there. Okay, so you can just tap the selection to deselect. Looking good. Okay, same thing with our whipping cream here. So tap on that to say select. Create a new layer. Select this color. And actually, I don't really like this. It's a little bit too yellowy, so maybe I'll just pick this color here, just down there, see if that works. I might change my brush. I'm gonna go to this variegated edge. It's another watercolor brush found in the Flower Masterclass section, so just use that. And just use a small brush, around 2%, sort of fill in sort of these areas here. You can just paint those in, just sort of follow along the line, just create those shadows. Actually, I'm gonna have to make this brush a little bigger. Now, if you want to smudge these out, we can do that too. So I'm just gonna bring my brush a little bit bigger, maybe around 7. It's a little bit dark. So we can just go to the smudge tool. It can be on that variegated edge. It's the same brush. I was just adjusting. I had my opacity down, so I want it all the way. And I'm just gonna smudge these out so they're not so harsh. If yours look a little harsh, it's just an easy way to do it. Back to my brush. Just gonna put a little shadow on either side just to sort of round it out. That's looking good. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that one. And then we're gonna just go to the cherry, same thing, select, create a new layer, select this color, down to the right. Still with the watercolor, just shadowing this on the one side particularly. If you need it smaller, maybe a little bit in here too. Underneath. Now we want a nice highlight on this too, so let's pick this red. Let's go way over here. Let's try that. Go to back up to the variegated edge. Bring the size down a little bit. Now, what I might do, actually, let's be fancy. Create a new layer and tap on the N and change it to hard light. Go and get quite a white, light pink. See, this will make this look a little bit more luminous. It burns it almost a little bit. So then I can do that. Take the smudge tool. Actually, it's gonna have to be fairly small, maybe around 10. So with the smudge tool, just go and just smudge around. So you kind of want it less on the outside and then more on the inside, like a little hot spot. Just gonna stand back and see how much you want. All right, I think that's good. Lovely. Okay, so I can deselect. All right, looking pretty good. So if we want to just do a little bit more detail, we can go back to this shadow layer for our cone and just select this color here. If I can, there we go. And still with this variegated edge, you can go and add all this lovely detail. So I would just do it. Actually, that's pretty dark. So let's just adjust that. Just move it over there a little bit. Let's see. Still pretty dark. So let's just lighten it up until it's something that is, yeah, just sort of mid-tone. And yeah, maybe, you know, actually I'm gonna change my mind on this brush here. Let's do the rough sketcher. It might be more manageable at around size 2. You can just kind of on one side put in a little shadow. It'll just create that depth for that waffle look. You see what I mean? Just another little extra detail. Just trying to do it really quick. Just scribble it in. Not filling in the whole circle, or this rather square. I'm just doing the top edge of it. Lovely. Okay, and then you can just continue on to add more details. I'm just going to go back into here, into the ice cream layer, just grab this color, maybe something like that in the darker area. Go to the variegated edge, and you can just, if you want to add, you know, more details that are a little bit more specific, and just kind of making it look like it's that little crease there, sort of scrape. Add little bits here. I'm just doing little squiggles, really. Nothing too fancy. Maybe we can go get something that's more textured. I wonder if the crackle background would work. It's a little bit much. Let's see. Paint blob. That might be nice. And then maybe with sort of this color here, just around here, just use this blob. It might just sort of add a little, having it go out, which is fine. Okay, so that probably looks good. If you want to add a little bit more texture to your ice cream, that looks nice too. All right, so I think we're going to leave it here for today. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, I'd love it if you gave it a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of new tutorials just like this in the future. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.